महाभागानां मुखारविन्दात् तादृशं बहुविधं वैज्ञानिकवैभवं सम्प्रति वयं श्रोतुं प्रभवामः। तत्र ऑनलाइन मध्ये अस्माकं सहस्राधिकाः छात्राः तथा च बाह्याः अपि शृण्वन् तत्र सन्ति। ऑनलाइन मध्ये मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर वेबसाइट मध्ये ऑनलाइन मध्ये अस्य प्रसारणं भवति। एवमेव साहित्य अकाडेमी वेबसाइट मध्ये अपि अस्य प्रसारणं भवति। तर्हि न्यूनातिन्यूनं 1000-2000 जनाः सम्प्रति ऑनलाइन मध्ये सन्ति। अतः एतस्य भाषणस्य महती आवश्यकता भवति। भवन्तः सर्वे अपि शोधछात्राः ये अत्र समुपस्थिताः सर्वे श्रद्धया शृण्वन्तु। महान्तः विद्वांसः अत्र समुपागताः वर्तन्ते। तत्रादौ अहं सम्प्रार्थये अस्य सत्रस्य अध्यक्षपादाः अस्माकं गुरवः अस्माकं विश्वविद्यालयस्य प्राक्तनाः आचार्याः साहित्यविभागस्य आचार्याः काव्यशास्त्रधुरन्धराः वेदशास्त्रस्य पारङ्गताः प्रशासनकुशलाः एवमेव उत्तमाः तत्र मानविकतायाः अत्यन्तम् उच्चसोपानं ये प्राप्तवन्तः अस्माकम् आचार्याः प्रोफेसर सन्निधान सुदर्शन शर्मा महाभागाः अहं सम्प्रार्थये आचार्याः कृपया मञ्चम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तु इति। इमे श्री वेंकटेश्वर वेद विश्वविद्यालयस्य प्रतिष्ठापकः कुलपतयः वर्तन्ते। एवं तत्र अत्र पत्रप्रस्तौतारः ये सन्ति तेषु सर्वादौ तत्र भवन्ति आचार्य गीता कुमारी महाभागाः सम्प्रार्थ्यन्ते। कृपया वेदिकाम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तु। एवमेव आचार्यः एस् रङ्गनाथ महाभागाः सम्प्रार्थ्यन्ते। भवन्तः कृपया मञ्चम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तु। एवमेव आचार्याः जी शंकर नारायणन महाभागाः सम्प्रार्थ्यन्ते। भवन्तः कृपया मञ्चम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तु इति। अस्य सत्रस्य ये पर्यवेक्षकाः सन्ति आचार्याः एस् दक्षिणामूर्ति शर्मा महाभागाः सम्प्रार्थ्यन्ते। कृपया मञ्चम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तु। वयं सर्वे अपि जानीमः यत् अस्माकं मान्यः अध्यक्षपादाः अस्माकमेव गुरवः अस्य विश्वविद्यालयस्य मान्यः पूर्वाचार्याः तेषाम् अध्यक्षे एषा सभा भवति। तत्र गीता कुमारी महाभागा या वर्तते कालाडी संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालयस्य कुलपति महाभागाः वर्तन्ते। गीता कुमारी महाभागाः कुलपतयः एस् रङ्गनाथ महाभागाः महान्तः संस्कृतविद्वांसः बेङ्गलूर् नगरात् समागताः सन्ति। तेषां स्वतन्त्र तत्र साहित्य अनुष्ठानमपि बेङ्गलूर् नगरे वर्तते। ते महान्तः सन्ति। जी शङ्करनारायण महाभागाः तान् वयं सर्वेपि जानीमः। अस्माकं विश्वविद्यालयस्य साम्प्रतं साहित्यविभागे ते आचार्याः वर्तन्ते महान्तः कवयः। एवमेव आचार्यः एस् दक्षिणामूर्तिशर्मा महाभागाः इमे अस्माकं विश्वविद्यालयस्य DSW डीन् ऑफ स्टूडेंट वेलफेयर इति एते भवन्ति। आचार्यः दक्षिणामूर्ति शर्मा महाभागाः शिक्षाशास्त्रविदः भवन्ति। आचार्यः एजुकेशन शिक्षाशास्त्री में आचार्यः तथा सम्प्रति डीन् स्टूडेंट वेलफेयर वर्तन्ते। अहं सम्प्रति अध्यक्षपादानाम् अनुमतिं स्वीकृत्य दक्षिणामूर्तिमहोदयानां कृते तत्र इमां सभां सञ्चालयन्तु इति सम्प्रार्थये।
सभायै नमः। श्रेयः कान्ताय कल्याण निधये निधयेर्तिनां श्रीवेङ्कटनिवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मङ्गलम्। अधुना भरतभूषणरतेन उक्तं वर्तते प्रथमसत्रः तत्र प्रातः प्रारम्भसमावेशः किञ्चित् अधिकेन जातमासीत्। तत्र अस्मिन् सत्रे कालिदासस्य साहित्य वैज्ञानिक वैभवम् इति अमुं विषयम् आधृत्य सत्रमेतत् प्रचलति। अस्य सत्रस्य आध्यक्षं वोढुं सम्प्रार्थये तत्र भवतः वैदिकविश्वविद्यालयस्य व्यवस्थापककुलपतीन् एवं अस्यैव विश्वविद्यालयस्य साहित्य आचार्यान् विदितवेदितव्यान् वेदवेदाङ्गसाहित्यशास्त्रेषु कृतभूरिपरिश्रमान् गुरुकल्पान् आचार्यान् सन्निधानसरस्वती महोदयान् अत्र ते उपस्थिताः सन्ति। एवमेव तेषां कृते स्वागतं पुनरेकवारं व्याहरामि। एवमेव क्यालिकट् विश्वविद्यालयात् साहित्यविभागे आचार्यपदम् अलङ्कुर्वन्ति। एवमेव कालडि शङ्कराचार्यविश्वविद्यालयस्य प्रभारी कुलपतयः आचार्यः गीताकुमारी महाभागाः ताः अपि सम्प्रार्थये अत्र पत्रं समुपस्थापयतु इति। एवमेव आचार्याः बेङ्गळूरुतः समागताः न तु केवलं संस्कृते इति नास्ति, आङ्ग्ले तु तेषां तत्र तु वैदुष्यम् अति तत्र पश्यामः चेत् अत्यधिकं वर्तते। तेषां पुस्तकानि पश्यामः चेदपि महता तत्र समीचीनतया वर्तन्ते सन्ति। ते रङ्गनाथन् महोदय डाक्टर् रङ्गनाथन् महोदयः तान् अहमपि स्वागतं कर्तुमिच्छामि। एवमेव अस्माकं विश्वविद्यालयस्य साहित्यविभागे आचार्यपदम् अलङ्कुर्वन्ति आचार्य शङ्करनायन् महोदयः। तान् अहं सम्प्रार्थये अत्र भवन्तु, पत्रं तु तत्र समुपस्थापयतु इति। अधुना अध्यक्षमहोदयानाम् अनुमतिं स्वीकृत्य सत्रं सञ्चालयितुम् अग्रे सरामि। तत्र आदौ गीताकुमारी महाभागाः अभिज्ञानशाकुन्तले वैज्ञानिकवैभवम् इति विषयम् आधृत्य पत्रं प्रस्तौतुं सम्प्रार्थ्यये। किञ्चित् तत्र तु विलम्बः जातः, तदपि एकवारं मनसि निधाय कृपया पत्रं तु तत्र तु you submit the paper not elaborately and according to the time you just go ahead, madam. Thank you.
Respected teachers and dear friends, I want to commence the program, commence the presentation with a verse of Sri Krishna Karnamrita, because this is the first session starting. Kasturi tilakam ललाडफलगे वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं नासाग्रे नवमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुं करे कंगणं सर्वांगे हरिचंदनं चकलयन् कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयदे गोपाल चूडामणि. Respected teachers and my friends, today I am presenting a paper on dharma, which is very essential to each and every human being who are living in the world. So we know that I am just giving a very little introduction that we know that etymologically the word dharma was originated from the word dhr, and the meaning to bear, uphold or maintain, and we know that the pillars of dharma is dana, generosity, shila or bhavana. So many we can and sources of dharma according to Gautama Dharma Shastra is 3: the Vedas, the Smritis, the tradition, and the acharas, the practice of those. Such a beliefs are laid from our Vedic tradition itself. But today I am presenting a paper on the concept of dharma, how the representation of dharma in Kalidasa's work. Very generally a glance I am doing. And the concept of dharma permeates every aspects of Indian tradition. This fundamental idea inherently carries complexity. According to the Mimamsakas, dharma constitutes the essence of Vedas. The Vedas in turn asserts the dharma sustain the entire universe. Texts known as Smritis, which unwaveringly follow the Vedic path, are designated as Dharmashastras. Additionally, Idihasas, epic narratives, largely revolve around the theme of Dharma. The heart of the Mahabharata lies in the evocative phrase, Yado Dharmastado Jaya. Where there is Dharma, there is victory. The extensive Shanti Parvan section of the Mahabharata exclusively delves into discussions about Dharma. Notably, there exists a verse often referred to as Bharata Savitri. न जादु कामात् न भयात् न लोभात् धर्मं त्यजेत् जीवितस्यापि हेतोः धर्मो नित्यः सुखदुःखे तु अनित्ये जीवो नित्यो हेतुरस्य तु अनित्यः. This verse emphasizes that one should never abandon dharma, even for the pursuit of wealth, artha, or desire, kama. Indeed, one should uphold dharma, even at the cost of their own life. The Ramayana, another epic, serves as an illustrative response to the question of whether mortal beings can strictly adhere to the ideal path of dharma. It answers affirmatively using the noble example of Lord Rama, the embodiment of righteousness. Among the 6 orthodox systems of Indian philosophy, Purva Mimamsa especially asserts that dharma constitutes a core content of the Vedas. The prominence of dharma within Indian tradition is evident from its inclusion as one of the 14 Vidyasthanas. The concept of dharma evolved into greater complexity over time. During the Vedic era, dharma represented a way of life that not only avoided disruption but also harmonized with the cosmic rhythm sustaining the universe. The Rigvedic notion of Rida are statements like Dharmo Vishwasya Jagata Pradishta, Dharme Sarvam and Dharme Sarvam Pradishthidam, all expresses variations of the fundamental idea. The Mahabharata acknowledges the inscrutability of Dharma. Dharana Dharma Mityahuhu, Dharmena Vidridaha Prajaha, Yahasyat Dharana Samyukdaha, Sa Dharma Idi Nischidaha. Mimamsakas asserts that only what the Vedas ordained could attain the status of Dharma. Dharmasya tattvam nihidam guhayam mahajano yena gadassa pandhaha. Gradually, Dharma became a tool for establishing a social order based on Chadurvarnya. With a strong Vedic support, it gained unquestionable authority. The extensive Dharmashastra literature discussed various forms of Dharma, often seen in elucidations of Vedic content. Exploring how the concept influenced the renowned poet Kalidasa, often hailed as India's national poet, would be both intriguing and rewarding. Kalidasa drew inspiration from the springs of Vedic wisdom. In Kalidasa's epic poem, Raghuvamsha, the poet not only portrays and idolizes but also strives to protect the social order based on Chadurvarnya. The poem begins with a eulogy for the Raghu dynasty, emphasizing their commitment to upholding Varnashrama Dharma, the duties and responsibilities associated with the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. To illustrate King Raghu's adherence to the Dharma, Kalidasa describes the keenness of Raghu's father, King Dilipa, in following the path laid down by Manu. Rekha matramabhikshunada mano vatmanaha param navyadiyuhu prajastasya niyandur nemi vrtayaha. Manu's guidelines were highly regarded even by the citizens of royal queen Sita. Despite being abandoned without any fault, Sita, who was pregnant with the king's child, sends a message to King Rama. In her message, she accepts Manu Dharma, starting that she should be protected like any other ascetic order according to Manu's stipulations. She says, Nirbhasya Varnashrama Palanam Yad Sayeva Dharmo Manuna Pranidaha Nirvasidapyeva Madastayaham Tabasvi Samanyam Avekshaniyaha. If she had not accepted Manu Dharma, she could not have said, Kalyana Buddhe Radhava Tavayam Nakamajaro Mai Shanganiyaha. One should not take this action of yours on me as unrestrained and willful. This episode further highlights the poet's support for King Rama. Kalidasa's portrayal underscores the importance of adhering to Dharma. It is Raghu dynasty. Here, Kalidasa invites us to closely observe how it includes. He describes a contemplative man, someone deeply committed to safeguarding Varnashrama, who rules the country without hesitation or remorse, despite containing his grief. This portrayal highlights King Rama's unwavering conviction that his action align with righteousness. Kalidasa's exuberance lies in repeatedly depicting rituals ordained by Shruti and Smriti. He draws a comparison between Sudakshina, who follows Nandini's footsteps, as the Smritis that strictly adhere to Vedic content. The epic poem mentions Shraudha rituals like a Ashwamedha sacrifices performed by Ikshvakus and the Vishwajit Yaga conducted by Raghu. Kalidasa takes pleasure in describing the numerous sacrificial posts along the bank of Sarayu, emphasizing the rich sacrificial tradition of the Raghu dynasty. Additionally, Kalidasa seamlessly incorporates household rituals, smarta or grihya, into the narratives. This includes Pumsavana, ritual for conceiving a male child, Jadakarma, birth ceremony, Vaivahigagni Pradakshina, offering during marriage, and Lajahoma, offering the parched grains. Notably, he also refers to Shraddha, a post-Vedic ritual where King Dilipa expresses concern about maintaining continuity in Pinda offering to ancestral manners. Nunam matta param vamsyaha Pinda vichedadarsinaha na pragama bhujaha shrade swadha sangraha tatparaha. Undoubtedly, my ancestral manners, seeing that the continuity of Pinda offering is to be broken soon, eat only a little in Shraddha ceremony, keeping aside the remaining as a reserve for the future. This layered exploration of rituals and convictions adds depth to the epic, showcasing Kalidasa's intricate understanding of cultural practices and their significance. In the concluding section of the Mahakavya Raghuvamsha, the poet meticulously explores the concept of Raja Dharma, the duties and responsibilities of a king. The exploration occurs under the pretext of narrating the righteousness of King Aditi, notably the entire 17th canto dedicated to the purpose. Kalidasa demonstrates his mastery of polity and Raja Dharma, drawing from the wisdom enunciated by authors of Dharma Shastra texts. He presents words that emphasize the intricate relationship between Dharma and the practical aspects of governance. Let's examine some key words. Sa dharmastha sagha shashwadarthi pratyarthinam swayam dadarsha samshaya chedyad vyavaharan anandridaha. Na dharmamartha kamabhyam babade na cha tena tau nartam kamena kamam va so arthena sadrisha strishu. And another one is paradi sandhana param yadapyasi vijestidam jigisho rashwamedhaya dharma eva bhabuvatad. In one verse, Kalidasa asserts that even though polity may evolve elements of deception, it remains rooted in dharma. Deceiving the enemy king, if done for the purpose of performing an Ashwamedha, is considered righteous. Another verse highlights the nuanced balance between dharma, artha and kama. Another one is paradi sandhanam adhiyade yer vidyedi te sandhu kilapta vajaha. In summary, that is also Abhignana Shagundala is coming, and I am skipping some portions. In summary, Kalidasa's exploration of Raja Dharma reveals a complex interplay between ethics, pragmatism, and the duties of a ruler. His portrayal transcends blind devotion, inviting critical reflection on the multifaceted nature of governance and righteousness. The poet appears to be skeptical of the infallibility of those who have mastered the art of deception. This suggests that the poet has distanced themselves from the uncritical devotion of Rajadharma. Instead of a poet seems to haunted by the rigid and uncompassionate principles of the Dharma Shastra text throughout the Raghuvamsha. However, it is important to note that the poet occasionally succumbs to the broader principles of Dharma, which prioritize universal well-being and compassion. in the revealing moment, the poet expresses their true sentiments through the voice of their master Valmiki. Utkada lokatrayagandagebi, Satyapratiknebi, Avigathanebi, Tuam Pratyagasmad, Kalusha Praurto, Astieva, Manyuhu, Bharada Grajemi. The quote highlights the tension between the poet's commitment to truth and the limitations of Smriti text, which fails to fully capture the poet's emotional depth. This tension is evident in scenes where the poet's compassionate nature, exemplified by their emphasis on universal empathy, friendship, and equanimity, shines through. The renowned poet, a masterful observer of nature, vividly depicts the river Ganges as it prohibiting the son Sumitra from abandoning Sita, symbolized by waves resembling raised hands. Gurur Niyogad Vanida Manande Sadhvi Sumitra Tanayo Vihasin. That sloka is there. In contrast, the poem Kumar Sambhava deviates from the conventional narratives of Rajadharma, instead focusing on the themes of creation and divine union. Though a skillful blend of imagery and language, the poet explores the tensions between unbridled desire and disciplined self-control, echoing the balanced approach advocated by Buddha. The poet's work is punctuated by subtle allusions to dharmic principles, such as the importance of moderation, Sharira Madhyam Kaludharma Sadhanam, and the prioritization of mental discipline and external actions that na dharma vruddeshu vaya samichyade. Poet's primary concern, the poets and the technicalities like Anena Dharma, Savishesha Madhya, Me, Trivarga Saraha Pradibadi Bhamini, like sloga is also there. The poet's primary concern lies in extolling the virtues of Grihasthasrama, exemplified through the majestic union of Parvati and Shiva, which is reminiscent of the ritualistic and ethical guidelines outlined in Grihya texts like Abastamba and Ashulayana. The following episodes exemplify the poet's skill incorporation of dharmic elements in Saptarshi's marriage proposal, Arghya offering, Panigrahana, Lord's capturing horripilated hand of Uma, and the Lajahoma. In Abhignana Shagundala, the poet masterfully weaves together subtle and gross aspects of Dharma, as prescribed as Dharma Shastra text, to create a rich narrative. The play upholds in the Dharmaranya, where King Dushyanta enters, and the story develops amidst themes of Dharma. Characters frequently evoke Dharma to justify their actions, often with self-serving motives. For instance, King Dushyanta cites Dharma to conceal his identity, while Priyambada uses it to pursue Shagundala. Chargarava questions the king's disregard for Dharma, and Shagundala herself criticizes Dushyanta's deceitful use of Dharma. Then we can see that Shagundala in an outbursting statement hit at Dushyanta's thus Anarya Atmano Hedum Hridayanumanena Pashasi Ka Idanim Anyo Dharma Kanjuga Praveshino Tranachanna Kubo Bomasya Tava Anukradim Pradivatsyade. It is worth noting that she calls the king as Dharma Kanjugin, who is decides others in the disguise of Dharmika. Even minor characters like the fisherman refers Dharma to caution against the dangers to adhering to external expectation. Sahajam kila yadavinindidam na kalutat karma vivarjiniyam. Pashumarana karma dharano. The sloga is there. The poet work showcase a nuanced exploration of Dharma, highlighting its complex role in human actions and motivations. The king is anxious about the ancestors' visit at the ascetics' visit and expressed to Pradiharin, Kim Tavat Pradinam Uboda Tavasam Viknai Tabo Dushidam, Dharmaranyajareshu Kanajiduda Pranishu Achestidam, Praneshu Asachestidam, Ahosit Prasavo, Mababa Charidehi, Vishtambido Vidudham, Ityaruda Bahut Pradarkam Abi Parichedagulam Memanaha. Like it reveals a deeper concern for the responsibilities of Rajadharma, transcending the mere dictates of Dharma Shastra. Raja Kalasya Karanam, the anguish embodies the sublime aspect. Praja Ranjana Jagarugada, like we can find out some hallmark of Kalidasa's literature, which often elevates Dharma to universal and sublime levels, surpassing the limitations of Varnashrama Dharma. I am concluding my paper. The renowned Mimamsaga Kumarila Bhatta validates Kalidasa's statement on Dharma. Sadam hi sandeha padeshu vastushu pramanamanda karna pravurtayaha. Acknowledges his authority and impact on subsequent generations. Evam hi vidvat vadanad vinirgadam prasiddha rupam kavibir nirubidam. While Kalidasa's work bear the imprint of the limited Dharma concept of Varnashrama, his poetry also showcases a fervent commitment to its protection. This dichotomy highlights the poet's success in navigating the complexities of Dharma. Thank you. Thank you all.
Friends, we had the opportunity of listening to a wonderful lecture involving the aspect of Dharma from Kalidasa's Abhignana Shakuntala. It goes without saying that Dharmartha Kama Moksheshu Vaichakshanyam Kalascha Karoti Kirtim Pritincha Sadhukavya Nishevadam Sadhukavya Nibandhanam Ubhayamapi Chaturvarga Phalaprapti Sukhadalpadiyamapi. So while the drama Natakam is also a part of Kavya, the Prayojana of Kavya in general applies to Nataka also, that to Abhignana Shakuntala. And the subject is a very sublime one. Veda Pratipadya Prayojana Dharma. That is the definition given by Mimamsakas. We call it Mimamsa Shastra. I wonder why should it be called Mimamsa Shastra? Why should not Dharma Shastra? Athato Brahma Jignasa, we call it Brahma Kanda, Brahma Jignasa. Then Athato Dharma Jignasa should become, where there is Dharma Jignasa, it should be a Dharma Shastra. Actually, Sriharsha says in Naishadhiya Charita, Saraswatyaha Varnane, Mimamsaya Mahamsala Muru Yugmam, Mimamsaya Mahamsalam Uru Yugmam. Brahma, Dharma, Rupena, Vartate. In some of the translations, English translations, I have seen the word, the translation of Dharma as a synonym of righteousness. I am afraid whether it is a true, faithful translation of Dharma. Because the concept of Dharma is not known to the Western scholars. And Dharma, you cannot define it. It is so complicated. And the number of dharmas, they are innumerable, depending upon the varna, ashrama, kala, desha, avastha, and so on. You cannot count the branches of dharmas. So wonderful, and we have, thank you, Geeta Kumariji, we have listened to a scholarly presentation from you.
Thank you, madam, for your dharmic lecture on the paper. Idanim aham samprarthaye Dr. Ranganathan Mahodayan Vikramorvasye Vaignanika Vaibhavam Vishayam Adhikritya te Swayam Patram Tatra Samarpayati.
Maulau Mandakiniyasya Malati Malika Nibaha Mauni Manasa Hamsoyam Maudhyam Haratu Naha Shivaha. My topic for this afternoon is Botany or Plant Kingdom in Kalidasa's Vikramorushiyam. And I could also here to some extent, the president of this afternoon session touching upon that point in the morning deliberations. Therefore, I will take over from where he has left. My past is in my future, and my future is in my past. Time past and time future are both present and time present, as T.S. Eliot in 4 quartets would have it. Now, I would like to begin my paper, and before that, I want to express my grateful thanks to Professor Sudarshan Sharma, who first invited me to this Vidyapita in 1991. So for 33 years, continuously I have been coming to this Vidyapita, and I'm also seeing Dakshinamurthy Garu, who is coordinating this, and also Professor Lalita Rani. So these three, I have been seeing, these three for 33 years, I have been seeing in this Vidyapita. And in the earlier discussion, Professor Sudarshan Sharma Garu rightly put it, that the word dharma can never be translated into English, but only can be explained, for which we have a documentary evidence in P.V. Kane's History of Dharma Shastra, Volume 1, page 1 to 11, which was published in 1954 and which got Sahitya Akademi Award in the year 1956 in 8 volumes, wherein he gives 11 equivalents for dharma and not English equivalents. So only you can translate it into Sanskrit, not into English. Dharma is not religion, dharma is not ethics, dharma is not code of conduct, but dharma is all these things put together. It's a conglomerative, configurative, complementary term, which cannot be translated, like the word guru. Guru cannot be translated now. Vrutha pralapitatvam. And at best I can justify this with Mimamsa doctrine of Gacchad Vyakhyana. You know, Gacchad Vyakhyana is hop, skip and jump like the London buses. Now, without doing any more gimmicks, I will come to my subject. Preshtak kavinam kavi Kalidasah bhasha rasalankriti bhava bhutihi natye sukavye pratitasta gitau kyatastataste upama prayoge bhasha prasanna ruchira padalihi alankritinam sahaja prayogah bhavabhivyaktihi kavi kalpanadhya tanoti kavye manikkanchanabham saptasya grantha pratita jagatya vikrama abhignana urvashiyam prema prasange dvitayasya lakshyam ayushya janmavadi varnyatetra vedadishu prapyata eva vrittam akhyana rupena tu prema moolam pururava asti balaha koyam sachorvashi vartata eva vidyut varshartukale ghana vidyutostu samagamo drishyata eva nityam varshatye cha virahodvayostu pravartate sarga nisarga yeshah prastauti vrittam idameva natye Shri Kalidasa Pranayanabaddam Samagamaha Premi Yugasya Purvam Dvayor Vyogena Vilapa Vrittam Natyetra Prapya Katachid Visheshaha Kavescha Lakshaha Pratibha Vikasaha Antardrisha Patra Chayasya Ramya Divyanganaya Manujasvabhavaha Pratra Drishyam Vakye Lagutvam Karuna Pravaha Kathanakasyaiva Manoramatvam Nirikshanecha Prakritesu Sukshma Drishti Kaverasti Prashamsaniya Hasyasya Vyangyasya Samashrayena Kavitva Saundaryam Yahasti Drishyam. Now I come to second part of my paper in English. The Himalayas are our national mountain. Ganga is our national river. Gita is our national scripture, and Kalidasa is our national poet. Dr. V. Raghavan. Kalidasa's work combines the majesty of Homer with the tenderness of Virgil, the luxuriance of Ovid, and the depth of Shakespeare. And yet, it is simple and contains enough to suggest the old Athenian boast of beauty with extravagance. No composition of Kalidasa displays more the richness of his poetical genius, the exuberance of the imagination, the warmth and play of his fancy, profound knowledge of the human heart, delicate appreciation of its most refined and tender emotions, his familiarity with the workings and counter-workings of its conflicting feelings, in short entitles him to rank as Shakespeare of India, says Monier Williams. What Dowden said of Shakespeare can be applied to Kalidasa. This is according to Dr. K. Krishnamurthy, work on Kalidasa published from Sahitya Akademi. Herein, Kalidasa's vocabulary are preserved to us as in a museum. The relics of our forefathers' lives and minds, their manners and customs, their modes of salutation, their domestic economy, their field of sports and indoor games, their music, their furniture of their houses, their arts and crafts, their military weapons, their superseded laws, the lore of their schools, the faith in the virtue of heroes, their astonished theories, their theories of man's physical and mental constitution, their belief in the supernatural, their tidings from fairyland, their omens of fate or hope drawn from the conjunction of planets in the sky. So planets and sky, this was also dealt with in the morning session in a contextual manner. All these and much besides are displayed in the rich museum of Kalidasa's language. Kalidasa's verses are the flowers. He can make our readers too delight in poetry, because poetry comes out of imagination. Poets, lovers, and lunatics are of imagination all compact. Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare, Act 5, Scene 3, Line 2, 16th century, Stratford upon Avon. All these and much besides are displayed in the rich museum of Kalidasa's language. Kalidasa's verses are the flowers. He can make other readers too delight in poetry. If there is one name and stands out winning, unstinted, unadulterated admiration of generations of scholars from east and west across the centuries, it is Kalidasa and Kalidasa alone. Vikramorushiya, the drama of winning Urvashi through strength from the hands of a demon by bravery. Vikramena Hruta Urvashi, as opined by A.A. MacDonald, or the tale of Urvashi, won by valor, explained by Arthur W. Ryder, has also an allusion, according to Surendranath Dasgupta, who feels that Kalidasa is suggesting by allusion that he lived in the court of Vikramaditya. This Apurvam Natakam, as suggested by Sutradhara, our stage manager, is a narrative play in which the mortal beings have active and reciprocal communion with gods and semi-gods, and it has its origin in Pururava Urvashi Sambhada of Rigveda, Shatapatha Brahmana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata, Bruhatkatha, Vishnu, Padma, Matsya Purana, and in some folk tales. It has two recensions, northern and southern recension, and the commentaries by Katyavema, Taranatha, Ranganatha, not by me. According to Katyavema, it is Vikrancha Urvashincha Adhikritya Kritam Natakam Vikramorashiyam. Vikrama Shabdaha Pururavasam Sangneti Sampradayaha. Sampradaya Vishwasabhyam Sarvasiddhihi Parashurama Kalpasutra. Many of us know that Parashurama has written 6,000 Kalpasutras. We only know that he is a Chiranjeevi. But how many of us know that he is the author of 6,000 Kalpasutras? 4,223rd Kalpasutra is this, from the pen of Parashurama. Sampradaya Vishwasabhyam Sarvasiddhihi, being second time reprinted in the year 1996 from Baroda University. And Sampradaya Vishwasabhyam Sarvasiddhihi is again endorsed by Shankaracharya in the 13th chapter, second verse, second line of his Prasanna Gambiram Bhashya, which he wrote in his 16th year. Asampradaya with Sarva Shastra Vidape Murkhavadeva Upekshaniyaha. If you don't have Sampradaya, just shun him. He may be an intellect. What do I care? One who does not care for Sampradaya. It is from Sampradaya, it comes Sat Sampradaye Stiradiyam, as Vedanta Deshika would have it. You have Nyasa Vimshati, that I think the second verse of Nyasa Vimshati, if my memory is all right. Not all right usually, but I think it's all right now. So there you say, Siddham Sat Sampradaye Stiradiyam Shautriyam Brahmanishtam Satvastam Satyavacham Samayaniyataya Sadhuvritya Sametam Damba Asuyadi Muktam Jita Visheganam Dirgabandum Dayalam Skalitye Shasitaram Sajana Rahita Param Deshikam Bushnuripset Devata Rupadharitva Shishya Nugraha Karanat Karunyam Rutapurtitva Deshika Katita Priye. So that is Karuna, Shishya Kalaji, Ko Guruhu, Adhigata Tatvaha, Shishya Hitaya Udyata Satatam, as Shankaracharya would have it in the 32nd of Prashnottara Ratnamalika, which he is supposed to have written in the year 14. Thus, this Trotaka form of 5-act play has the precedent of Rigveda and the Puranas on the one hand, and the succeedent of Vikramorushiya Dhvani Rupakam by Ramakant Shukla, Padma Shri Awardi, and the editor of Arvachina Samritam, published in 1982 from Devavani Parishad, Delhi, thus endorsing the statement, time past and time future are both present in time present. In this background, we should note the relevance of this 2-day national seminar on Kalidasa, organized by Sahitya Akademi, being spearheaded by its dynamic secretary, Dr. Srinivas Rao Garu, and dedicated Deputy Secretary, Dr. N. Suresh Babu Garu, and the VC of National Sanskrit University, Mahamahopadhyaya Professor G.S.R. Krishnamurti Garu, who is also a Sanskrit advisory board member of Sahitya Akademi at the holy presence of Lord Venkateshwara, whose grace dawns on us, I should win yes to race to get the grace of God Almighty. If I am not an ace, I will never race. If I don't race, I will never get the grace. ACE, RACE, GRACE. Usually, the poetic excellence, the dramatic ingenuity, nature or fine arts in Kalidasa is generally dealt with. But here I have been given a very novel topic of presenting a paper on scientific magnificence in Vikramoorishiyam, which is the first of its kind according to my limited knowledge. And with no knowledge of science whatsoever, I am trying to share some of my thoughts on it, like Udbahuriva Vamanaha, which again was referred in the morning session of the inaugural session, which I am going to substantiate now in front of this august audience. And I do appeal to pardon me during the follies which I am bound to commit in keeping with the statement of Hemachandra Suri, Pramana Siddhanta Viruddhamatra, Yatkinchiduktam Madhivanja Doshat, Matsarya Mutsarya Tadarya Chittaha, Prasadamadaya Vishodayantu. Now I come to the third part of my paper. Here I am going to jump and skip. Scientific is that which is made carefully or thoroughly according to Bloomsbury's dictionary, and magnificence is splendid or noble. Science is so vast and varied, and due to paucity of time and my own limitations, I am going to restrict myself to the science of botany or plant culture in Vikramoorishiyam. Botany. Botany is science of plants according to Collins Compact Dictionary, Oxford Publishing House, New Delhi, 1975, page 74, line 1. Now, plant kingdom in Vikramoorishiyam. Kalidasa was well versed in plant science. Multiple references to more than 120 plants and trees, flowering plants, flowerless plants have adorned his works. In Vikramoorishiyam only there are references to more than 30 plants according to my limited knowledge. They are along with their botanical names. I am not going to read that. I have given the botanical names also, the equivalents in my paper, which if it gets published, you will know. 1. Ashoka. 2. Atimukta. 3. Burja. 4. Bisa. 5. Chuta. 6. Harichandana. 7. Jambu. 8. Kadamba. 9. Kalpataru. 10. Kamala. 11. Kandali. 11. Karnikara. 13. Kumuda. 14. Kunda. 15. Kurabaka. 16. Lavali. 17. Mandara. 18. Madhavi. 19. Brunala. 20. Nalini. 21. Nichula. 22. Nipa. 23. Padmini. 24. Pundarika. 25. Rajajambu. 26. Shadvala. 27. Sahakara. 28. Sallaki. 29. Shashpa. 30. Tala. 31. Yutika. Deepashika Kalidasa has referred to all the aforesaid plants and trees in Vikramoorishiyam in the course of his narratives and disciplines, as well as in using of simile, metaphors, and utprekshas. At some places, the poet has referred to these plants and trees drawing from other shastras, especially from Ayurveda, the science of medicine, Sangeeta Shastra, musicality. What is Sangeeta? What is Sam? What is Gi? What is Ta? According to Mantra Shastra. Sam is Parvati, Gi is Lakshmi, and Ta is Saraswati. The Pindi Bhuta of that is Sangeeta. And the basis for Sangeeta is Sri Sukta. If you chant Sri Sukta continuously, 24 times you get Inkara. Hiranyavarnam Haranim Suvarna Rasasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedo Maavaha Tam Maavaha Jatavedo Lakshmim Anapagaminiim Yasyam Hiranyam Bindeyam Gamashram Purushanaham Ashwapurvam Ratamadyam Hastina Ada Prabodinim Shriyam Devim. If you go on like that, there are 24 times that Inkara occurs. Just multiply that 24 into 3. What is that? 72. How many ragas are there in music? 72 Melakarta ragas. Therefore, the basic for Sangeeta is Sri Sukta of Veda. So this is the interdisciplinary study which Mahamahopadhyaya Ra Satyanarayana, a great musicologist and professor of chemistry and principal of Yuvaraja's College, Mysore, had done 40 years ago. His research work in 3 volumes. Fortunately, the autographed volumes are available with me. Anyway, Deepashika Kalidasa has referred to this, the blend of plant science or Vriksha Ayurveda, on which Professor S.K. Ramchandra Rao has brought out a beautiful volume on Vrukshayurveda. So, from Kalpataru Research Academy, Shankar Mutt, number 62, Shankarpuram, Bangalore 56004 in the year 1973, which is available in the bookstall when you enter to the left, the third book, if my memory is all right. So in the present attempt, an attempt is made for Ashoka, Chuta and Kurabaka. You know, Ashoka is a beautiful name. One who has no Shoka is an Ashoka. We are all Ashokas, having come here to this beautiful place, because all our Shoka has disappeared and we have become Ashokas. So there is absolutely no grief now. We are all very happy here. Ashoka, Chuta, Chutankura swada kashaya kantaha, pumsko kiloyan madhuranchukuja, manasvini manavigata dakshaha, tadeva jatam vatanam smarasya, you find in Kumar Sambhava. And Manasvini, Manasvinyai namaha, you find in Lalita Sahasranama. So one has conquered mind. The most important thing to conquer in oneself is one's own mind, because what is mind never matter, what is matter never mind. According to Raskocha, professor of physics, Bombay IIT, 1973, Bombay, Bharati Vidyavan publication, Mind versus Matter. He has written a beautiful poem where mind says I am superior and matter says I am superior. Ultimately, they come to a common consensus and perform a duet dance. So that is mind versus matter. So, mind. How soon hath time the subtle thief of youth stolen on my mind the 3 and 20th year? Milton, on his being arrived at the age of 23. Cursingly, he wrote the 23rd poem. I wasted my 22 years of life. Let me write the first poem on my 23rd birthday. So many people do so many things on their birthday, but he wrote a poem. Sanu Puraravena Sri Rasarane Abhitadyanam Dohadam Yadashokasya Tataha Pushpodgamo Bhavet. At being greeted with the mouth breeze of beautiful damsels, the Chuta, mango, puts forth its blossoms. You should see the process of blossoming, not when it has totally blossomed, because very soon it will give out its petals. It has got a very short life, but what an impact it creates within that short life, just as Shankaracharya lived only for 32 years, but what impact he has created. Ashtavarshe Chaturvedi, Dwadashe Sarva Shastravitu, Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam, Dvatramshe Munirabhyagat. That's the life of Shankaracharya. 32, that's all. He lived. You see, for how long you live is not important. What you have given to the world is important. At being greeted with the mouth breeze of beautiful damsels, Grita Chivina Karamba, Urvashi Chatelotama, Sukeshi Manjugoshadyah, Katyante, Apsaraso Budai, according to Amarakosha. And what does Yama tell Nachiketa in Kathopanishad? Yama Rama Sarata Saturya, Nahidrusho Lambaniya Manushyahi, Avirmat Partavi Parichara Yasva, Nachiketo Maranam Manuprakshi. What was the reply given by Nachiketa? Tavaiva Vaha Stavanrutta Gite. You please keep all those things. I have not come here for these damsels, these elephants, these horses, these chariots, these money. I want Atman. I know that you know Atman, therefore you cannot lie before me. As a guest I have come, and you can never disappoint a guest, because Atiti Devo Bhava, which you yourself, if you don't follow, how are you expect to follow that in the mortal being? You see, triply, Nachiketa caught hold of the neck of Yama in a triangular fashion, came back to this world with the same body, and that's why Swami Vivekananda says, give me 5 Nachiketas, I will transform this Kali Yuga back to Krita Yuga. Where to find 5 Nachiketas? Vivekananda himself should be reborn again, that's all. Ashoka is a tree of moderate size belonging to leguminous class of plant, magnificent red flowers, according to Monier Williams. Its leaves are stated to have been used by women for adorning their ears. Mango blossoms are described as being used in the worship of Kamadeva, Cupid, one who has 5 arrows. That's why he is called Pushpa Chapaha. And you know the 24 number is very important for the synonyms of Manmata in Amarakosha. Madanaha, Manmataha, Maraha, Pradyumnaha, Meenaketanaha, Kandarpaha, Darpakaha, Anangaha, Kamaha, Panchasharaha, Smaraha, Shambararihi, Manasijaha, Kusumesha, Ananyajaha, Pushpadanva, Ratipati, Makaradvaja, Atmabuhu, Shungarayoni, Sriputra, Shurpaka, Ratarityapi, Aravinda Mashokancha, Chutancha Navamallika. 24 synonyms, 24 letters in Gayatri Mantra. Explanation of 24 mantras of Gayatri Mantra is 24,000 stanzas of Ramayana. That is the significance of the word 24 in our tradition from the point of view. Mango blossoms are very fragrant, Kurabaka blooms in spring. It's used by women to decorate the top knot of their hair. Agre Sri Nakapatalam Kurabakam Shaman Dvayorbagayo Balashoka Upodaraga Supagam Vedonmukam Tishtati Ishad Baddarajaha Kanagra Kavisha Chute Navavallari Mugdatvasya Saumanasya Sake Madhye Mudashri Sitaha. I'm not going to read the rest of them because I know my time is up. I'm coming to the last para, with which I conclude. Kalpataru, the heavenly tree, dances in a number of attractive ways to the accompaniment of the songs of the bees, exhilarated with fragrance. You know, the bee is the connecting link between Dushyanta and Shakuntala from the point of view of Abhignana Shakuntala. If you allow me to go from Vikramoria Shriya to Abhignana Shakuntala. So, how exactly the bee comes? Kappaurave Vasamatim Shasati Shasitari Durvinitanam Ajam Acharatyavanyam Mugdha Satapasvakanyasa. Chalapangam Drishtim, Sprushati Bahusho Vepatamatim, Rahasyakhaiva, Sonasi Mrudakarnantekachara, Karo Vyadhun Vatyaha, Pivasi Ratisarva Swamadharam, Vayan Tatvan Veshan Madhukarahata, Twankalukruti. So that's the explanation which Vikramorshyam leads on to Shakuntala. Kalpataru, the heavenly tree, dances in a number of attractive ways, Chalita kind of dance, which Malavika performs in Malavika Agnimitra. So if you take dance aspect in three places, that becomes a separate topic altogether. So on which one PhD thesis has come, being published from Parimal Publications, Shakti Nagar, Delhi, 110007, 24 years ago. Kalpataru, the heavenly tree, dances in a number of attractive ways to the accompaniment of the songs of the bees, exhilarated with fragrance, and the playing of musical instruments in the form of notes of the cuckoos. You know the cuckoo song being played by Chitti Babu on Veena. He played Mantra Pushpam and called it as cuckoo song and amassed lot of pounds and unfortunately lost in the latter part of his life. So, Yopam Pushpam Veda Pushpavan Prajavan Pashaman Bhavati Chandramava Apam Pushpam, that he played Kui Kui, called it cuckoo song. Anyway, how many ways cuckoo can come, you see? Cooing of the cuckoos, buzzing of the bees, galloping of the horses, trumpeting of the elephants. All this you can see in the works of Kalidasa. In his lovelorn state, I can work out one thesis on Kalidasa as an abnormal psychologist. What is the condition of abnormality when Pururavas lost Urvashi? And how he went on after everybody, whatever he sees, that appeared to be as Urvashi, in keeping with the statement of Abhignana Shakuntalam, Kami Swatam Pashyati. Whatever he saw Urvashi there only. He saw Urvashi in elephant. He saw Urvashi in a plant. You know, that is the lovelorn condition of a person who has lost his lady love, in keeping with the abnormal psychology of the Indian tradition. This is a Charchari song wherein is described the beautiful dance of the celestial tree. The verse comprises the trio of Gita, Vadya and Nritya. According to Bharata's Natya Shastra, if you take this particular statement, it can be talked about for an hour together. Hence, it's a beautiful illustration of Sangeeta along with plant science. Here, bees are singing their songs, cuckoos are providing accompaniment on musical instruments, and the tree is dancing in a number of charming styles. This is a marvelous sight to enjoy. I conclude this paper with an Anyokti Shloka showered on the celestial tree Kalpataru. Audaryam bhuvanatraye viditam sambhutirambo nide vaso nandana kanane parimalo girvana cheto haraha evam datra gunotkaraha surataro sarvopi lokottaraha syadarti pravararti tarpana vidayako vivako yadi. The above study proves the point that Kalidasa was well versed with the plant kingdom, which directly corresponds with the technical terminology of modern botany. Thank you very much for suffering me all along during my paper. You are all my fresh victims. For 40 years I have been victimizing, and you have given me an opportunity to add to the list of my victims. I am doubly grateful to Sahitya Akademi for tolerating me again and again, recurringly, and especially to Professor Sudarshan Sharma Garu, who, having invited me in 1991, now cursing in his mind, because again I have to listen to him after 33 years. And I am also grateful to Dakshinamurthy Garu, who has been the coordinator, who has cooperated with me all the 33 years. And we also have got the other dignitaries of the seminar who have come from different parts, and especially Radhakrishnan, whom I know from Pondicherry days when I had visited his department. He has preserved so many great manuscripts, and he has handed over that to the department after his retirement, and now he has retired himself to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ranganath. You made all of us tight-lipped and widened-eared. Friends, we all know him for his mastery over the languages and the words. Actually, the goddess Saraswati dances on tip of his tongue. Yeah. She has that thundering and unfailing memory. That is the God-given gift to him. And we are fortunate enough to listen from him. Sir, actually, you have reminded me of a passage which I have skipped this morning. The parapsychology dealt with by Kalidasa. Bhavasthirani jananantara sauhridani. That's what I skipped this morning. And you have rightly reminded me of when you told about Kami Swatam Pashyati. Thank you very much. So now let us proceed to the next paper without further loss of time.
I am greatly delightful with the paper presented by our Ranganath sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, we all know him as a scholar of English and Sanskrit and so many other arts. But what you all do not know is that he is a great Pandit of Rigveda. I know that he has chanted the entire Rigveda. Okay, Dakshamurthy.
Thank you, sir. इदानीं सम्प्रार्थये अस्माकं विद्यापीठस्य आचार्यविभागे तत्र आचार्यः सन्ति डाक्टर् शङ्करनारायण महोदयान् ते माळविकाग्निमित्रे वैज्ञानिकवैभवम् इति विषयं स्वीकृत्य तत्र पवर् पायिण्ट् प्रेजेण्टेशन् माध्यमेन अस्मान् तत्र तोषयति. I request him to confine to the time because next session is to be, next 2 sessions are there. Okay, kindly follow the things, sir. Thank you. Sir, you want the mic? No, hand mic.
स्तुवन्मोहतमस्तोम भानुभावमुपेयुषः स्तुमस्तान् भगवत्पादान् भवरोगभृषग्वरान् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. विश्वगुरुणा कविकुलगुरुणा च कालिदासेन रचितेषु कृतिषु रचितासु तावत् माळविकाग्निमित्रम् इदं नाटकं तावत् सकलनाट्यलक्षणखचितं विद्यते. तत्र विद्यमानानां वैज्ञानिकांशानां प्रदर्शनं भूयादिति धिया अत्र पत्रं किञ्चित् प्रस्तूयते. नानाशास्त्रनदीष्णानाम् एवञ्च महामहिमसम्पन्नानाम् आचार्याणाम् आध्यक्षे मया पत्रप्रस्तुतिः क्रियते इत्येव नीचेपि आत्मनि बहुमानैव जायते. अतः सधन्यवादोऽयं जनः. इदानीं विषयं प्रति प्रविशामः. कालिदास महाकवेः कृतिवरं साहित्यभूषायितं नाट्यं माळविकाग्निमित्रचरितं निर्मथ्य तत्त्वामृतं विज्ञानास्पदवैभवेन महितं सन्तन्यते शक्तितः डिम्भस्येव मयमैव दुर्विलसितं प्रीत्या क्षमन्तां बुधाः इति प्रार्थनया आरभ्यते. कविकुरुणा कालिदासेन यदि नोदायिष्यत तर्हि साहिती वनिता विधवेव अभविष्यति नात्युक्तिः. तादृशेन महाकविना अस्पृष्टा विद्या इति काचिन् नास्त्येव जगति इति विदितचरोऽयं विषयः. माळविकाग्निमित्रे तस्य विज्ञानवैभवम् अनितरसाधारणं विभ्राजते. उपवेदेषु तथा अन्यविद्याशाखासु च बहवः उल्लेखाः अस्मात् दृश्यन्ते. तत्र कांश्चन उल्लेखान् वयं पश्यामः. वस्तुतः चरित्रमपि इतिहासोऽपि वस्तुतः विज्ञानस्यैव विषयः, यतः तत्रापि सतर्कवचः एव सङ्गच्छते। अतः इतिहासं नाम चरित्रमपि एकं विषयीकृत्य अत्र तस्यापि उल्लेखः प्रस्तूयते। नान्दीपद्यमिति सर्वेपि जानन्त्येव, एकैश्वर्ये स्थितोऽपि प्रणतभूफलः यः स्वयकृतिवासाः इति आरभ्य कान्तासम्मिश्रदेहोऽप्यविषयमनस्तां यः पुरस्ताद् यतीनाम् इति अयं विषयः वस्तुतः अर्वाक्तनशिलालेखेष्वपि तस्य प्रभावः दृश्यते इति। वस्तुतः कालिदासस्य काव्येभ्यः शिलालेखेष्वपि तस्य छाया दृश्यते इति सर्वविदितोऽयं विषयः। यद्यपि पञ्चमशतकात् उल्लेखाः दृश्यन्ते शिलालेखेषु, अथापि एकः शिलालेखः अत्यन्तं प्रमुखो भवति यत्र कालिदासस्य नाम उल्लेखः विद्यते इति ऐहोळ शिलालेखः। ततः पूर्वं मौखरिवंशीयस्य ईशानवर्मणः हरः शिलालेखे अस्य नाम केवलं कान्तासम्मिश्रदेहोऽप्यविषयमनसां यः पुरस्ताद् यतीनाम् इति पङ्क्तेस्तावत् छाया विद्यते इति विशेषः। तांश्च पङ्क्तिं पश्यामः। यस्यार्धस्थितयोषितोऽपि हृदये नास्थायि चेतो भुव इति तस्यैव छाया। वस्तुतः अस्य कालः 550 CE भवति, सामान्ययुगस्य 550 भवति। तत्र शिलालेखस्य अंशोऽपि दत्तः यत्र कालिदासपङ्क्तेः छाया अस्माभिः द्रष्टुं शक्यते। एवञ्च गान्धर्ववेदे मालविकाग्निमित्रे विद्यमानान् अंशान् वयं पश्यामः। गान्धर्ववेदश्च सङ्गीतात्मकः, गीतं वाद्यं नृत्यं चेति तृतीयस्यैव सङ्गीतं तौर्यत्रिकम् इति वा नाम तत्र विद्यमानान् अंशान् पश्यामः। गणदासस्य कथनमिदं भवति, यद्यत् प्रयोगविषये भाविकम् उपदिश्यते मया तस्यै तत्तद्विशेषकरणात् प्रत्युपदिशतीव मे बाला इति। अत्र भाविकं नाम भाववत् भावयुक्तं नृत्यम् इत्यर्थः। नृत्यम् एतत् भावाश्रयं नृत्यम् इति वयं तु लक्षणं जानीमः, तदेव अत्र उपदिष्टमस्ति। आङ्गिक अभिनयप्रायम् अल्पवाचिकसात्विकं भावानाम् आस्पदं नृत्यं पदार्थव्यञ्जनात्मकमिति भावकस्य नृत्यस्य लक्षणं तावत् अभ्यधायि बहुभिः। ततः एव भाविकमिति शब्दस्य तावत् प्रयोगः कालिदासेन कृतः इति वक्तुं शक्यते। एवञ्च गणदासस्य इदानीमेव पञ्चाङ्गम् अभिनयम् उपदिश्य विश्रम्यतामिति अभीता दीर्घिकावलोकने गवाक्षकता प्रवातम् आसेवमाना तिष्ठति इति गणदासस्य वचः। तत्रैव काटयवमेन इदं तावत् अयम् उल्लेखः दत्तः। नृत्तं तथा च कैवारः मर्मरो जागरं तथा गीतं चेति समाख्यातं प्रेरणस्य अङ्गपञ्चकम् इति पञ्चाङ्ग अभिनयस्य तावत् अयं विषयः दत्तः। अयं श्लोकः संगीतरत्नाकरे भवति इत्यपि उक्तं च संगीतरत्नाकरे इति काटयवमेन उल्लिखितं भवति, किन्तु इदानीं मुद्रितेषु ग्रन्थेषु अयं श्लोकः कुत्रापि नोपलभ्यते इति विषयः। कैवारप्रभृतीनां लक्षणं तावत् सङ्गीतसमयसारे एव उपलभ्यते, किन्तु अयं श्लोकः तावत् सङ्गीतरत्नाकरे न लभ्यते, विशिष्य नृत्यरत्नाकरे। एवञ्च त्रिभिस्वेतत् प्रयोज्यं स्यात् कैवारं जागरं विना इति सङ्गीतरत्नाकरात् इति तस्य उल्लेखः। एवं पञ्चाङ्गम् इत्यस्य अन्यद्व्याख्यानम् एवं समुपलभ्यते। चित्ताक्षि भ्रू हस्तपादैः अङ्गैः चेष्टादिसाम्यतः पात्राद्यवस्थाकरणं पञ्चाङ्ग अभिनयो मतः इति उल्लेखः लभ्यते, किन्तु काटयवमेन अयं श्लोकः न उदाहृतः भवति। पञ्चाङ्गं नाम कैवारप्रभृतिकम् इत्येव तेन उल्लिखितं, किन्तु अयं श्लोकः सङ्गीतरत्नाकरे न लभ्यते। पञ्चाङ्ग अभिनयः इत्यस्य साक्षात् उल्लेखः अयमेव श्लोकः भवितेति मम अभिप्रायः। एवञ्च बकुलावलिका कथयति, आज्ञप्तास्मि देव्या धारिण्या अचिरप्रवृत्तोपदेशं छलिकं नाम नाट्यमन्तरेण कीदृशी माळविकेति नाट्याचार्यम् आर्यगणदासं प्रष्टुमिति। पुनः छलिकम् इति नाट्यविशेषः इति कालिदासः स्पष्टं कथयति। छलिके सा तु इदानीमेव निविष्टा भवति माळविका इति हेतोः, तद्विहाय अन्यत्र प्रवृत्तिः कथमस्ति इति पृच्छामि इति सा कथयति। तत्र पुनः कथयति परिव्राजिका, देवचतुष्पदोद्भवं छलिकमुदाहरन्ति, तत्र एकार्थसंश्रयम् उभयोः प्रयोगं पश्यामः, तावता ज्ञायते एव तत्र भवतोः उपदेशान्तरमिति परस्पर स्पर्धायाम् एवं कथयति। तत्र व्याख्याने छलिकं नाम नाट्यविशेषः इत्यर्थः इति काटयवमेन लिखितं। तदेव छलिकं नाम साक्षात् यदा नीयते व्यपदिश्य पुरावृत्तं स्वाभिप्रायप्रकाशकम् इति छलिकस्य लक्षणं तत्र उदाहृतं विद्यते, किन्तु कुतः उदाहृतम् इत्यत्र उल्लेखः नास्ति। अत्र पञ्चाङ्गरूपनृत्तान्तरेण उपक्रमकथनेन छलिकं नृत्तं साकल्येन परिशीलितमिति सूच्यते इत्यपि लिखितं भवति। आद्यं तावत् छलिकम् इति नाट्यमन्तरेण इति कालिदासेन उक्तं, छलिकं नाम नाट्यविशेषः इति काटयवेवेन उक्तम्। अत्र छलिकमिति नृत्तमन्तरेण इति कथयति। एकस्यैव विषयस्य नाट्यत्वं पूर्वं स्वीकृत्य अनन्तरं नृत्ये अन्तर्भावः कृतः इति अत्र विचारविषयः भवति। तल्लास्यं ताण्डवं चैव छलिकं संपयासः हल्लीसकं च रासं च षट्प्रकारं प्रचक्षते इति सरस्वतीकण्ठाभरणे भोजेन नृत्येषु अन्यतमं छलिकम् इत्येव न्यरूपि। वस्तुतः नृत्येष्वेव अन्यतमं भवति छलिकं, नान्यत् लक्षणं कुत्रापि उपलभ्यते, किन्तु कालिदासेन नाट्यमन्तरेण इति उक्तं। पूर्वं नाट्यविशेषः इति उक्त्वा उदाहरणादिकं तावत् नृत्तादेव दत्तम् इत्यत्र कश्चन क्लेशः अस्माभिः अनुभूयते। तस्य छलिकस्य उदाहरणमपि एवं दत्तं, भोजेन निशम्य पश्चात् उत्तरगमं शूकरी हिंसार्थं हसति निजकान्तं दंष्ट्रायुगुलेन पुनः पुनः न च दशति इति उक्त्वा इदं तु शृङ्गारवीररसप्रधानत्वात् छलिकम् इति छलिकस्य लक्षणसङ्गतिम् अयं प्रदर्शयति। वस्तुतः ताण्डवं च वीररसप्रधानं, लास्यं च शृङ्गाररसप्रधानं, छलिकं च उभयरसप्रधानमिति भोजस्य अभिप्रायः। एवं नृत्तानां षट्प्रकारकेषु छलिकम् अन्तर्भाव्य छलिकस्य लक्षणम् एवम् अभिदधाति अयं भोजः, किन्तु पूर्वं तावत् नाट्यविशेषत्वेन स्वीकृतं। वयं तु स्पष्टं जानीमः, नाट्यं तावत् रसाश्रयं भवति, एवञ्च नृत्तं तावत् भावाश्रयं, नृत्तं तावत् ताळलयाश्रयमिति यद्यपि धनञ्जयेन अभ्यधायि, अथापि नृत्ययोः समभावं स्वीकृत्य नाट्यं नृत्यं च पृथक् भवतः इत्येव स्वीकरणं, किन्तु अत्र व्याख्याने कश्चन क्लेश इव दृश्यते। एवञ्च पुनः परिव्राजिका चतुष्पदोद्भवं छलिकमुदाहरन्ति इत्यत्र कथयति। तत्र लक्षणम् एवं चतुष्पद्याः एवं उक्तं भवति सोमेश्वरेण, मात्रा षोडश पदा स्याद्यदि वापि एकविंशतिः चतुर्विंशतिसङ्ख्या वा चतुष्पादा चतुष्पदी इति चतुष्पद्याः लक्षणम् एवम् अभ्यदायि। एवं छलिकस्य उदाहरणं ततः एव उपलभ्यते माळविकाग्निमित्रात्, दुर्लभः प्रियः तस्मिन् भवहृदय निराशम् इत्यत्र तावत् वस्तुतः विप्रलम्बशृङ्गारः अत्र उक्तः। भोजेन यदुक्तं भवति वीरशृङ्गारयोः प्रधानत्वमिति, वस्तुतः तन्न स्वीकृतं भवति विप्रलम्बशृङ्गारप्रधानतया इदं छलिकम् उदाहृतं भवति। चलितम् इत्यपि पाठः दृश्यते, सः अपपाठः छलिकम् इत्येव ग्रन्थेषु दृश्यते। एवमेव दीर्घाक्षं शरदिन्दुकान्तिवदनम् इत्यत्र तावत् तस्याः स्वरूपवर्णनं कृतमस्ति। नाम माळविका कथं तिष्ठति इत्यत्र तत्र संक्षिप्तं निबिडोन्नतं स्थनम् उरः पार्श्वे प्रमृष्टे इव मध्यः पाणिमितो निदम्बि जघनं पादौ अराळाङ्गुली छन्दो नर्तयितुः यथैव मनसः श्लिष्टं तथा स्वं वपुः इत्यत्र काटयवेमेन एवम् उल्लिखितं भवति। अंगस्य चतुरश्रत्वं समपादौ लताकरौ आरंभे सर्वनृत्तानाम् एतत् सामान्यमिष्यते इति नाट्यस्य सामान्य अभिनये नृत्यस्य एतत् भवति इति वर्णितं भवति। तस्याः स्वरूपवर्णनमपि अस्माभिः दृश्यते। तस्य वर्णनं यदि वयं पश्यामः नाट्यशास्त्रस्थ करणानां च विश्लेषणं वयं कुर्मः तर्हि अस्माभिः इदं ज्ञातुं शक्यते, इदं करणमेव तत्र उद्धृतमस्ति इति। अष्टोत्तरशतकरणानि नाट्यशास्त्रे चतुर्थ अध्याये विवृतानि भवन्ति। तत्र तावत् समनखम् इति एकं करणम्, इदं च करणं नाट्यस्य आरम्भे प्रयोक्तव्यम् इति भरतेन अभिहितं भवति। तस्यैव करणस्य उल्लेखः तत्र एवं व्यञ्जनावृत्त्या कथितः इत्येव अस्माभिः वक्तुं शक्यते। यतः माळविकायाः स्वरूपनिर्देशः सा तु समरूपेण तिष्ठति, एवं समुन्नतमुरः इति सौष्ठवस्य लक्षणं यदुक्तं भवति तत्सर्वमपि अत्रैव सङ्गच्छते इति वक्तुं शक्यते। अतः माळविकाग्निमित्रे माळविकायाः स्वरूपवर्णनं समनखम् इति करणमेव अनुवर्तते इति दृढरूपेण वक्तुं शक्यते। एवञ्च पुनः वर्णयति माळविकां, वामं सन्धिस्तिमितवलयं न्यस्य हस्तं नितम्बे कृत्वा श्यामा विटपसदृशं हस्तमुक्तं द्वितीयं पादाङ्गुष्ठा लुलितकुसुमे कुट्टिमे पातिताक्षं नृत्तादस्याः स्थितिमतितरां कान्तं रुज्वायतार्धम् इत्यत्रापि पुनः नृत्यम् इत्येव उदाहृतं भवति छलिकात् परं। तत्रापि विद्यमानायाः स्थितेः वर्णनं यदि वयं पश्यामः एतयोः अन्यतरकरणेन भाव्यम् इति वक्तुं शक्यते। एकत्र तावत् जनिता इति करणं जनितकरणम् इत्युच्यते, अड्डिता इति चारीयुक्तं भवति, तत्रैव वर्णनं भवति इति अस्माभिः वक्तुं शक्यते इति ऊह्यते। एवञ्च पुनः अङ्गैरन्तर्निहितवचनैः सूचितः सम्यगर्थः इत्यत्र तावत् तत्र ताळवर्ति इत्यस्य एवं रूपेण तत्र काटये वेमेन उक्तं भवति। ताळवर्ति तु यः कालः सः काललयनालयः इति लयस्य लक्षणमुक्तम्। एवं पादन्यासस्य स्वतः लयानुसरणम् अभ्यासपाठवाद् इति मन्तव्यमिति आरभ्य तत्र प्रयोगो न तु नाट्यादेर्भवेद् अभिनयो हि सः इति प्रयोगः नाम अभिनयः एव इत्यत्र प्रदर्शितः। शाखा नाम नृत्तहस्तानां मानप्रचारः इत्युक्त्वा शाखायोनिः इत्यत्र नृत्तहस्तानां प्रयोगः तत्र सूचितः इति काटयवेमेन प्रदर्शितं। नृत्तहस्ताश्च 32 हस्ताः भरतेन प्रतिपादिताः भवन्ति 13 अध्याये। वस्तुतः नृत्तहस्तानां प्रयोगः परस्परं तावत् लुप्तः भवति। इदानीं तावत् संयुतहस्तानाम् असंयुतहस्तानां च प्रयोगः भवति नृत्येषु। नाम भारते सर्वत्र क्लासिकल् डान्स् इति यत् कथयामः सर्वत्रापि केवलं संयुतहस्तानाम् असंयुतहस्तानां प्रयोगो भवति। नृत्तहस्तप्रयोगः लुप्तः। तादृशः प्रयोगः केवलं नाट्यशास्त्रे दृश्यते, ततश्च कालिदाससाहित्ये उपलभ्यते इति अयं विशेषः। ततश्च परं सर्वेषु ग्रन्थेषु विद्यते, नाम तत्र सङ्गीतसारादिग्रन्थेषु अस्माभिः द्रष्टुं शक्यते, किन्तु प्रयोगे नास्ति इति विशेषः। एवञ्च आयुर्वेदविषये प्रातः आचार्यैरपि उक्तम्, अन्येपि विषयाः दृश्यन्ते। कथकस्य विषये पङ्कच्छिदः इति आरभ्य कथकस्य विषये उक्तं। मन्दोप्यमन्दतामेति इत्यत्र पङ्कच्छिदः फलस्येव निकषेण आविलं पयः इत्यत्र आविलं पयः कलुषितं पयः कलुषितं जलं पङ्कच्छिदः संसर्गेण शुध्यति इत्यत्र निरूपितं। पङ्कच्छिद् नाम कथकः, कथकस्य चूर्णेन पङ्किलमपि जलं शुध्यति इति लोकेपि दृश्यते। उदुम्बरस्य काष्ठः एवं पङ्कच्छिद् नाम कथकस्य चूर्णम् इति एतद्वयं सर्वपयः प्रसादनम् इति अस्माभिः द्रष्टुं शक्यते। तादृशरूपेण कथकस्य उल्लेखः तत्र कृतः। पयः प्रसादि कथकं तत् फलं च तत् कथकस्य फलं नेयं जलनिर्मलताकरं वातश्लेष्मकरं शीतं मधुरं तुवरं गुरु इति कृत्वा तस्य लक्षणमपि अस्माभिः द्रष्टुं शक्यते भावप्रकाशादिषु। एवञ्च विदूषकस्य वचनं हि इयं सीधुपान उद्वेजितस्य मत्स्यण्डिका उपनता इति बहुलावलिकायाः आगमने कथयति। सीधुपानं च इक्षुसारात् सम्पादितं मद्यमेव सीधुपानम् इत्युच्यते। तेन यः उपनतः भवति तस्य मत्स्यण्डिका सेवनेन तत् शाम्यति, मादकता शामकं भवति इति तत्र आयुर्वेदग्रन्थेषु दृष्टं भवति। मत्स्यण्डिका च इक्षुसारस्य घनरूपेण द्रवः यद्दृश्यते तस्य घनीभूतत्वात् मत्स्यण्डिका, मन्दं स्यन्दते इति मत्स्यण्डिका इति एकत्र व्युत्पत्तिः। एवञ्च मत्स्यस्य अण्डैव भवति इति मत्स्यण्डिका इति। मिश्री इति भाषायां कलकण्ड इत्यादिकं भाषासु उच्यते। वस्तुतः इक्तोः पक्वरसः सिद्धः सीधुः पाकरसश्च यः आमैस्तैरेव यः सीधुः स च शीतरसस्मृतः इति कृत्वा आयुर्वेदग्रन्थेषु सीधुपानस्य विशेषाः उक्ताः। मत्स्यण्डिका च इक्षोः रसो यः सम्पक्वः घनः किञ्चित् द्रवान्वितः मन्दं यत् स्यन्दते यस्मात् मत्स्यण्डीति निगद्यते इति मत्स्यण्डीलक्षणम् आयुर्वेदग्रन्थेभ्यः उपलभ्यते। सीधुपानेन उद्वेगः यदि भवेत् तर्हि मत्स्यण्डिकया शाम्यति इति आयुर्वेदग्रन्थेषु दृश्यते। स एव विषयः कालिदासेनापि उपात्तः भवति। एवञ्च तत्र सर्पदंशविषये कथयति। तस्य विदूषकस्य वचनम् एवं भवति। ततः प्रविशति यज्ञोपवीत बद्ध अंगुष्ठः सम्भ्रान्तो विदूषकः अहं सर्पेण दष्टः इति उक्त्वा विदूषकः यज्ञोपवीतेन अंगुष्ठस्य बन्धनं कृत्वा आयाति। वयं तु जानीमः सर्पदंशः यदि भवेत् चेत् पूर्वं रज्ज्वा बन्धः कर्तव्यः इति तु सामान्यः नियमः। स एव नियमः कालिदासेनापि उल्लिखितः। पुनश्च अग्रे कथयति तेन हि दंशच्छेदः पूर्वकर्मेति श्रूयते इति कर्मविषयम् उक्त्वा छेदो दंशस्य दाहो वा क्षतेर्वा रक्तमोक्षणम् एतानि दष्टमात्राणाम् आयुषः प्रतिपत्तयः इति दष्टभागस्य छेदः आहोस्वित् दंशस्य दाहः क्षतेर्वा रक्तमोक्षणम् इति एतत् सर्वं झटिति कर्तव्यम् आयुः वर्धते इत्युक्त्वा आयुर्वेदविषयकं परिव्राजिकामुखात् कथयति इति अयं विशेषः। एवञ्च अर्थशास्त्रस्य उल्लेखः प्रायशः कालिदासकृतिषु अर्थशास्त्रस्य सर्वेपि विषयाः विमृष्टाः भवन्ति। मन्त्रिपरिषत्, मन्त्री इति आरभ्य सर्वेपि विषयाः उल्लिखिताः। अस्मिन् विषये मया कश्चन उल्लेखः पूर्वं लिखितः आसीत्। इदानीं केवलं माळविकाग्निमित्रे पश्यामः। राजा कथयति कथं कार्यविनिमयेन मयि व्यवहरति अनात्मज्ञः वाहतव प्रकृत्यमित्रः प्रतिकूलचारी मे वैदर्भः तद् यातव्यपक्षे स्थितस्य पूर्वसङ्कल्पितम् उन्मूलनाय वीरसेनप्रमुखं दण्डचक्रमाज्ञापय इति अर्थशास्त्रे प्रयुक्तान्येव पदानि यातव्यपक्षः इति एवमेव तत्र दण्डचक्रम् आज्ञापय इति प्रकृत्यमित्रः इति इमानि पदानि अर्थशास्त्रे भूरिशः प्रयुक्तानि भवन्ति। अग्रेपि दृश्यन्ते। यदाज्ञापयति देवः इत्यादिकम् आरभ्य पुनः कथयति शास्त्रदृष्टमाह देवः इति शास्त्रपदेन अर्थशास्त्रं कथयति। तत्र कथयति अचिराधिष्ठितराज्यशत्रुः प्रकृतिषु आरूढमूलत्वात् नवसंरोहणशिथिलः तरुरिव सुकरः समुद्धर्तुम् इति तन्त्रकारवचनं। तेन हि अवितथं तन्त्रकारवचनम् इत्यत्र तन्त्रकारशब्देन कौटल्यः एव गृह्यते इति अस्माभिः द्रष्टुं शक्यते। अधः तत् दत्तं भवति अर्थशास्त्रात्। नवस्तु राजा बलावर्जितं ममेदं राज्यमिति यथेष्टम् अनवग्रहः चरति सामुत्थायकैः अवगृहीतो वा राज्योपघातं मर्शयति प्रकृतिषु आरूढः सुखम् उच्छेतुं भवति इति अर्थशास्त्रकारस्य वचनं। तदेव वचनं स्वीकृत्य अचिराधिष्ठितराज्यशत्रुः प्रकृतिषु आरूढमूलत्वात् इति तन्त्रकारवचनमेव कालिदासः एवं श्लोकरूपेण ग्रथनाति इति अयं विशेषः। एवञ्च कञ्चुकी वचनम् अमात्यो विज्ञापयति इति आरभ्य मन्त्रिपरिषदोपि एवमेव दर्शनं भवति इति मन्त्रिपरिषदम् अयं तावत् उल्लिखति। एवञ्च तत्र द्वैराज्यम् इति आरभ्य द्वयोः राज्यं भवति चेत् सर्वशोभनम् इति अर्थशास्त्रकारस्य वचनमेव तत्र उल्लिखति। अर्थशास्त्रवचनम् अधः सङ्गृहीतं भवति। एवञ्च ज्योतिषशास्त्रेपि उल्लेखद्वयं विद्यते। पात्रविशेषन्यस्तं गुणान्तरं व्रजति इत्यत्र जलमिव समुद्रशुक्तौ इत्यत्र ज्योतिषशास्त्रे स्वात्यां स्थिते रवौ मेघैः ये मुक्ताः जलबिन्दवः शिरिणाः शुक्तिषु जायन्ते तैर्मुक्ता निर्मलतुषः इति कृत्वा मुक्ताफलानाम् उत्पत्तिम् एवं कथयति। स्वातिनक्षत्रे भवति चेत् भवति इति। एवम् अतिमात्रभास्वरत्वं पुष्यति भानोः परिग्रहादनलः इत्यपि अस्माभिः वेदेषु दृश्यते। अग्निं वा आदित्यः सायं प्रविशति इति श्रुतिवाक्यं मल्लिनाथेन उदाहृतं भवति। दिनान्ते निहितं तेजः सवित्रेव हुताशनः इति रघुवंशेऽपि दृश्यते। एवञ्च दृष्ट्या एतस्य अविनयस्य अप्रसादिता गता तद् आवां शीघ्रम् अपक्रमावः यावद् अङ्गारको राशिमिव सानुवक्रं न करोति इति अङ्गारकस्य वक्रगतिः अत्र सूचिता। एवञ्च स्थापत्यवेदे सङ्गीतशाला तत्र उद्धृता भवति। तस्य लक्षणमपि नाट्यशास्त्रात् दत्तम्। एवञ्च चित्रशाला अपि तत्र उद्धृता। एवञ्च समुद्रगृहम् इति नाम्ना ग्रीष्मकाले वासस्य तावत् गृहं किञ्चित् निर्मीयते। नाम जलाशयस्य तीरे वा अहोस्मित् जलपूरितं गृहं वा समुद्रगृहम् इत्युच्यते। तादृशस्य गृहस्यापि उल्लेखः तत्र दृश्यते। एवञ्च तत्र उद्धृताः वृक्षादयः बीजपूरः तपनीयशोकः मालती रक्तकुरवकं च्यूतः रक्ताशोकः बिम्बः तिलकः माधवी इत्यादिकम्। एवञ्च कुन्दलता प्रियङ्गुः इति एते वृक्षाः पुष्पाणि च उद्धृतानि। इतोपि उपमानरूपेण तावत् पद्मं कुवलयम् इत्यादिकमपि उद्धृतं भवति। एवञ्च उद्धृतानि आभरणानि नूपुरम् आलक्तकं मेखला काञ्ची इत्यादिकम्। एवञ्च इतोपि बहवः विषयाः भवन्ति पशुपक्षिणां विचारे एवमेव तत्र मनोविज्ञानविषये एवं बहवः विषयाः भवन्ति। तत्सर्वं सङ्कलितमपि समयाभावात् मया त्यक्तं भवति अत्र। अतः कालिदासस्य कृतौ सर्वशास्त्रसमन्वयो भवति इति दिङ्मात्रम् उदाहृतम्। एवं मनोविज्ञान वृक्षायुर्वेद आभरणादीनामपि अतिमहान् सन्निवेशः तत्र द्रष्टुं शक्यते। अनेन इदं सुशकं वक्तुं कालिदासः सर्वशास्त्राणां वेत्ता आसीदिति। एवं सैन्स् इति पदेन यद्यपि प्राचीनशास्त्राणां ग्रहणम् अस्माभिः इदानीं कृतमस्ति, वस्तुतः आधुनिकविज्ञाने कियत्पर्यन्तं तत्र सङ्गच्छते इति अस्माभिः द्रष्टव्यं भवति। अथापि प्राचीनशास्त्रदृशा कालिदासे कियत्पर्यन्तं भवति इति यथाशक्ति यथावकाशं च वर्णितं। यदि अत्र दोषाः तर्हि क्षमन्तां बुधाः इति प्रार्थये। इतोपि धन्यवादः।
महान् प्रमोदः। अस्य सत्रस्य अन्तिमं भाषणं कर्णपेयमासीत्। तथैव अस्माकं मनोदृष्टिः विकसिता अपि अभूत् सत्रस्य यत् सत्रस्य अन्वर्थता भवद्भिः सम्यक् परिरक्षिता सन्तः त्रायन्ते अत्रेति सत्रं वयं सर्वेपि प्रार्थये अग्रिमा परिसमापना.
You have just highlighted everything of Kalidasa's Madhavakagnimitra with a number of shastras, not only Vriksha Shastra, Ayurveda Shastra and Abharana Visheva, Sarvasmin Visheshu Bhavatam Tatratu Kruta Bhuri Parisrama Krutaha Bhavatam Krute Punarekvaram Dhanyavadan Samarpayami Acharyaha api Uktavantah Tatratu Sabhapi Tatra Samayah Gacchanta Santi Agrima Satram Pratikantavyan Kila iti Uktavantah Tesham Tatratu अनुमत्या मया तत्र तु धन्यवादं तु कार्तज्ञं प्रकटयामि. एतावत् पर्यन्तम् आध्यक्षमूढ्वा अस्मान् अनुगृहीतवद्भ्यः आचार्येभ्यः सुदर्शनमहोदयेभ्यः साहित्य अकाडेमी पक्षतः अस्माकं विश्वविद्यालयस्य पक्षतः हार्दान् धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. एवमेव ये पत्रप्रस्तुतिं कृतवन्तः तेभ्यः त्रिभ्यः पण्डितवर्येभ्यः भूयो भूयः कार्तज्ञं कुसुमानि वितनोमि. एवं अस्य कार्यक्रमस्य मुख्यभूताः साहित्य अकाडेमी विद्वांसः अधिकारिणः एवं अस्माकं विश्वविद्यालयस्य कुलपतिवर्येभ्यः कृष्णमूर्तिमहोदयेभ्यः अन्येभ्यः पुरतः विराजमानेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः विद्वद्भ्यः मुहुर्मुहुः धन्यवादान् व्याहृत्य अमुम् अवकाशं दत्तवद्भ्यः सञ्चालकेभ्यः कृतज्ञताः व्याहृत्य विरमामि विस्तरात्. We'll go for the next session and I request the coordinator Professor Rajagopalan sir to go ahead with the sessions.